This Skinamarink movie is pretty good. Uh-oh, it looks like we're getting a blizzard tonight. We better get cozy and find something to do. Oh, shit! Hello, we're Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile, and welcome to Boots To Reboots. We're snowed in and going stir-crazy, so why not spend 4.5 hours watching the Shining miniseries?
Over 4 hours? But I want to play.
All work and no play makes good Andy a dull boy.
Don't call me dull.
Enough! I need to rob a liquor store.
You can't, Evil. The roads are closed. You're gonna have to watch this sober. Oh, that can't be good.
All of these shitty remakes, is there a single gem? They did it right already. Kill the candle to them. Which any of we watching with personality? One thing's for sure, good people. We got some movies to see. We got Boots To Reboots. Stop ready to stop that shit. We got Boots To Reboots. Stop ready to stop that shit.
Not wanting his third novel to also be set in Maine, Stephen King randomly pointed at a map and set off to Colorado in 1974. King and his wife were the only ones staying at the Stanley Hotel as they were closing for the winter. King had started a novel called Darkshine about a boy with psychic powers at an amusement park, but his visit to the Stanley Hotel and his own personal struggles with alcohol inspired the 1977 horror novel, The Shining.
Andy, did Mr. King see a ghost at the hotel?
No, apparently he had a nightmare that a fire hose was chasing his son.
That sounds lame.
Oh, you have no idea.
In 1980, Stanley Kubrick adapted the novel into a movie, which is often considered one of the scariest films ever made. What is with that poster, though? Did some guy knock up a banana? However, Stephen King wasn't a fan due to the changes Kubrick made to the story and characters. Some people dislike Kubrick's movie for being so different, while others argue it's one of the few instances where the movie is better than the book. So, in 1997, Stephen King tried to prove he could do it better with a 3-episode miniseries on ABC. The teleplay was written by King himself and directed by Mick Garris, who previously adapted King's Sleepwalkers and The Stand. The miniseries was shot at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, the place that started it all. Everything sounds good on paper, so what could go wrong? So let's cross The Shining off the list and see if it deserves the boot. The Shining takes place at the fictional Overlook Hotel, an isolated, haunted resort located in the Colorado Rockies.
I hope they brought an extra pair of gloves.
Extra gloves?
Yeah,
We're in the Rockies.
Jack Torrance arrives on closing day, and Commissioner Gordon shows Jack the temperamental boiler.
This whole place is gonna go Rocky Mountain High one of these days.
Dude, spoilers!
Now look at here. This is your pressure gauge. This is your drop valve. Come down here and stand next to this. It's got a safety valve. Dial gets up to 140. This son of a buck has been rusted shut for the past 20 years. For 160. It's got a safety valve every night. Here's what you gotta do. Then there was this last caretaker, Grady.
Huh? I'm sorry. You blew your nose and looked at it for too long, and now I forgot everything you said about the boil thingy. Mr. Ullman, the manager, gives Jack a history lesson on Denver croquet, where everything is twice the size.
Mommy, I want to go home.
Kids love it.
As you can see, by their struggle.
Mr. Ullman lets it be known that he has little confidence in Jack because of the last caretaker.
The caretaker?
Yes, I know. Did a little home dental work with a shotgun.
Anything to avoid flossing. You see, Grady, the caretaker, was also a drinker, and Ullman knows Jack's history.
In charge of one of the greatest resort hotels in America. May I be frank?
I don't know. Can he still be Jack?
You beat up a student. That was less than 5 months ago, wasn't it? After you had quit drinking?
How do you think you're doing, huh? How do you think you're doing?
What a nerd! Even the teachers wail on him!
You see, Jack's an aspiring writer and recovering alcoholic with anger issues. Jack hopes that the hotel's seclusion will help him reconnect with his family and give him the motivation to finish his play. After Jack's warm welcoming, we meet his wife, Wendy, their 5-year-old son, Danny, who is tripping balls, and Tony, who likes to hover. Tony talks to Danny in visions, shows him the future, and warns him about the hotel. Did he just give Danny a literal warning sign?
And other kids call me slow.
Tony, maybe Danny needs more convincing.
Oh God, I need a drink so bad!
After the flash forward, we get a flash back to a drunk Jack breaking Danny's arm.
Jack, what did you do to him?
I'm sorry, babe.
Jack, what did you do to him?
He had Danny in an armbar, but he wouldn't tap! People criticize the film because Nicholson looks crazy from the start. Meanwhile, 15 minutes into the series, Jack has attacked 2 people. One day, my top lip will meet my bottom lip. Cruising at a steady 7 miles per hour, the Torrances finally arrive at the hotel, where they meet the Overlook's head cook, Dick Halloran.
Dick, please.
That's what she said.
You gonna give me a hand, or you just gonna stand there?
Even telepathically, you can hear his mouth breathing!
Halloran tells Danny that he possesses psychic abilities, referred to as the Shining.
I can feel it coming off you like heat.
That's probably the hot dookie in his pants.
Dick's car also shines. In the reflection, you can see the boom pole and a crew member's white pants. Hopefully, this isn't a premonition of things to come. We'll just say all those crew members were ghosts.
Give me a blast.
What do you want me to think?
Anything as long as it's hard.
Doc is going to blast Dick so hard!
Hi, Dick!
Hi, Dick, is what I yell in the bathtub. For 20 damn minutes, Halloran explains The Shining to Danny and shows them around the hotel.
Ew, he keeps using his jizz rag!
Back in 1926.
Boo. Or whatever.
Andy, Is this show scary?
It'll be okay, good Andy. It's like pictures in a book. They can't hurt you.
Rex?
Danny, think it's gonna bite you, do you, Dad?
Of course not.
Of course not. A fire hose biting someone would be stupid.
Big bed. Plenty of room for movement.
Like fucking.
Telepathically, Dick tells Danny to give him a loud shout anytime he needs help. Dick! Dick! I need Dick! I mean, Halloran, where are you?
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Dick goes to get wet in Florida, finally leaving the Torrances alone. Look, even the cameraman is trying to leave. While replacing some shingles on the roof, Jack discovers a hornet's nest. Wait a minute, there's a town right there. Jack gets some poison, kills the little buggers, and gives the nest to Danny.
It's the happiest I've been since Danny was born.
Rex, did Danny's birth make Wendy less happy?
It's called postpartum depression, aka baby blues. Isn't learning fun?
I think so.
I wonder why he needs to learn to read so badly.
To read? After smashing Danny's head into the back of the toilet, Jack is ready to smash Wendy. But she is not the only one about to get stung.
You said it was safe, Jack! You said it was safe! The bug bomb must have been defective.
Had to have been. There's no other explanation.
I'm not saying it was ghosts, but it was ghosts. While tending to the boiler in the basement, Jack is attracted to the grisly history of the hotel while looking through records and a scrapbook. One thing Kubrick's movie was missing: Nicholson scrapbooking. Meanwhile, series Danny is having a staring contest with movie Jack. Look out the window. That's all he did on Friday? After the first snowfall, Danny hears voices that lead him into the hallway. They're really teasing that fire hose. I'm sure the payoff will be worth it. It is here that Danny is drawn to the dreaded Room 217. Hello? Tub lady? I'm here for the free smooches. Despite the warnings from Dick and Tony, Danny grabs a key for that room.
Tony, where are you? Help me!
Oh, thank God. It's not pregnant.
That's the payoff? The hose sorta lunges? Doesn't even wrap around and choke him? The cost of the CG fire hose scenes was $30,000.
30 grand? I could have spent that at the dirty bookstore. I need to get out of here.
Back in Mr. Ullman's office, Danny is lectured by Jack.
Because if the phone lines go down, this is the only way we have calling for help.
His CB handle is Rubber Drunky.
What have you got behind your back?
Series Jack is all over the place. Because it was shot out of order, Steven Weber didn't quite know what level of crazy to be in certain scenes.
I didn't go in the...
Men follow the rules.
Unless it's the no hands policy at Titty City.
Later, Danny knows Jack is in the basement looking at the records and wants to write about the Overlook instead of his play.
What do you mean he's He's not writing the play, Danny. Of course he is.
How do you like it?
I don't know, Jack. It's a little repetitive. As Danny is tucked in, we get a blatant product placement for liquor.
What's red rum?
I don't know. Sounds like something a pirate might drink.
I'll drink it. Red rum, purple rum, just give it to me.
That night, while Jack freaks out over Danny's chocolate milk, Wendy tries to seduce him.
Front, please.
Of course. Will that be for one night? Or, 30 minutes?
Maybe I could use some caretaking, too.
What are you talking about?
Dude.
Okay, I'll do it.
Do you still want to go up to bed?
What do you think?
That blanket fort isn't going to make itself.
The next day, Jack is messing around outside when he notices the hedge animals aren't covered in snow. He's wondering if he should break its arm. Jack grabs the mallet while the seas be a-sawin' and the swings be a-swingin'. Get back! You can't have all my denim! So the hedge animals sorta chase Jack, and nothing really happens. Having to do actual yard work is scarier than this!
Oh, I'm tired.
Tired from all that caretaking he was doing in bed.
11 days later, the unstable Jack develops cabin fever and hears his father's voice coming from the CB radio.
And don't, Jackie. Shut up that drivel.
Pardon me for asking a stupid question, but, aren't you dead?
Dead is being married to his mother.
A certain small person is where he doesn't belong. Again.
Hornswoggle, hiding under the ring.
And I don't have to listen. So shut up! Shut up!
The hotel, tricking Jack by using his abusive father against him, was a clever way to destroy the radio. Meanwhile, Danny gets past the fire hose and steps inside room 217. Danny, close your mouth. Close your mouth, Danny. Danny, will you close your fucking mouth? In the bathroom, Danny sees a woman in the tub. How did housekeeping miss that?
Hello, Danny. I've been waiting for you.
I can tell. Your skin is beyond pruny.
Just like pictures in a book. That was...
The Overlook must be a pop-up book.
Hey, who knew this was a jacuzzi?
Jack notices the key is missing and also blames Danny for breaking the radio.
Come down here and take your medicine!
Me, trying to give flea treatment to my cats. Come on, come down here and take your medicine. Come on, please. Why do you ignore me? Wendy finds bruises on Danny and accuses Jack of beating him.
What is that?
I think it's lipstick.
It's not my shade.
Jack's shade is more of a dreamy plum. While making Danny hot chocolate, he tells them about the lady in 217.
But most of all, I think it wants to be the most.
Brag much?
So Jack heads off to get some free smooches from the tub lady.
I'll be back.
Ooh, I love Rambo.
Jack finds the lipstick in the medicine cabinet, but before he can try it on, he notices some wet footprints. Our big, strong hero, everybody!
Oh, no, I don't see that. No.
Whenever someone's ass crack is hanging out. Jack returns to scold Danny some more and explains they can't leave because of the boiler.
I hate you both! I hate you both! You're stupid and I hate you both!
Well, now he's just quoting the reviews. Outside, Jack uncovers the snowmobile to find a note and mallet.
Mr. Torrance, if you desert your post, you will not be allowed back.
But Jack got a wristband at the door.
So Jack once again blames the destroyed snowmobile on Danny.
Sometimes if his formula was late or if he had a bellyache, things had a way of tipping over. Glasses would break, the toilet would flush itself over and over.
Jack, it's called a courtesy flush. Days later, Danny is outside playing in the snow.
I like snow. I like snow.
Yeah, so does Tony Montana.
Meanwhile, Wendy gets locked inside Mr. Ullman's office and has to witness the scariest part of the miniseries. The CG hedge animals.
Quick, get Edward Scissorhands.
Forget the hotel. Wendy is a danger to herself.
Hi, Mom! Come on over. It's good packing snow.
Yet another scene that goes nowhere. That night, Danny jumps into bed with his parents until they hear the elevator operating.
Sorry.
Sorry that you slipped on that croquet ball again. Right, babe?
We finally get a suspenseful scene where the elevator comes close to cutting Wendy in half. Just kidding, yet another scene that goes nowhere. In the original, Wendy's ash was more suspenseful. At least Kubrick did something creative with the elevator.
When a girl sneezes on her period.
Danny's presence makes the hotel stronger, and his visions get worse. Like pictures in a book. What book? The Necronomicon? Is that why Jack looks like a deadite? Sam Raimi does have a cameo. I guess the hotel knew Danny wasn't going to figure that out. Instead of red rum magically appearing all over the hotel, it makes more sense for movie Danny to write it out, not knowing what the vision means until the reveal.
And yet I get in trouble when I write on the wall. Stuber. 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 Stuber.
Having seen enough, Danny blasts Dick hard down in Florida.
Dick, please, come! Are you alright?
Danny shines Dick in Florida? It's gonna sound dirty no matter what. Either way, Dick is coming. Damn it! The Overlook plans to possess Jack by frustrating his need and desire to work.
I don't drink.
He gave up most liquids. His urine is thicker than honey. The ghosts supply Jack with a fully stocked bar, and he begins drinking again. But any snacks from the bar will cost you extra. Meanwhile, Danny sees Jack drinking in the window.
Wow, what else can Danny see?
Oh God, I'm glad no one else can see this. That's about as scary as a scare worker at a haunted house jumping out and yelling boo. You can defeat him by throwing a tennis ball. Instead of Lloyd, we meet Delbert Grady, the former caretaker who killed his family and himself at the hotel's command. Did you know one of the Grady sisters was played by a young Bruce Willis?
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever.
Would you damn kids keep it down? Some of us are trying to sleep. Grady tells Jack that Wendy and Danny are turning against him. The only option, naturally, is to kill them.
Grady was the name of the bartender who served Mr. King at the Stanley Hotel.
I know what he sounds like when he's drunk. I remember.
Yeah, most people can remember things from not even a year ago.
The band, they're here now too.
Spoken like someone about to see Smash Mouth. Jack is expected at the ball, where we get a cameo from Stephen King as the conductor, Gage Creed. The same name as the little boy from Pet Sematary, although in the credits, it's misspelled as Cage Creed. Jack dances with a young woman ghost who tries to seduce him.
You're the new caretaker. Well, take care of me then.
That big toe callus isn't going to scrape itself.
Damn herpes! Hasn't stopped me before.
Completely losing his mind, Jack is once again served by Grady.
You're the caretaker here. You've always been the caretaker.
Some jobs do feel that way. As he gets drunk, the increasing influence of the hotel, combined with Jack's own alcoholism and anger, prove too great. He succumbs to the dark side.
You have much to learn, my drunk Padawan. If only I could teach you. Dr. Oddcoitus, what are you doing here?
Ahoy, hoy, my good boy. I've always been here. What will it be?
I'm so glad you asked me, Harry. I got a bunch of singles right here in my wallet. Not going to strippers.
No charge, my boy. Orders from the house.
No charge?
Your money is no good here. It's Monopoly money.
I like you, Doc. I've always liked ya, even when I kidnapped and tortured ya. So here's what. Slip me a blue ball shot, minus the roofie.
Very good, Evil. Very good.
Here's to 5 miserable hours on the wagon, and all the harm it's caused me.
How are things going, Evil?
Things could be better, Doc. I could be at Titty City with melons in my face. I have to rely on the old spank bank upstairs.
Women! Can't live with them, can't kill them.
Yeah, right. Anything you say, Doc. Anything you say.
Evil. Evil!
Huh?
Where the hell are you right now?
Oh, I was in therapy.
At least in the movie, that bad dog caught himself a bone. It's okay. The hotel is hosting a furry convention.
I'll never be able to watch Spaceballs again.
Jake, go, Jake! Please go!
I'm on my way, Doc. Now let up before you blow my brains out.
Blow his brains out? I can't get my mind out of the gutter. Dick can't come any faster. Armed with a knife, Wendy enters the bar.
All right, Toots, let's see some ID.
After throwing Danny around, Wendy gets the better of Jack, knocking him out and locking him inside the walk-in pantry.
You're gonna wish you had.
He's gonna eat all their Cheez-Its.
However, Grady releases him after he makes Jack promise to bring him Danny and kill Wendy. Jack doesn't close the pantry door at home either. Jack suddenly appears and attacks Wendy with one of the hotel's croquet mallets.
Yes, sirree, Bob!
That chair was then signed by the Denver Broncos. Grievously injured, Wendy manages to defeat Jack yet again.
It's not winter break until you end up in a pool of blood.
You know, if Jack would cut it out with the villain monologues, this wouldn't keep happening.
Finally got tired of listening to her face-sided caretaker, the spiteful coward.
Stop with the knife already.
And your miserable, quacking caretaker just
so
run and hide, bitch.
Oh.
Run and hide. When he tried to destroy my papers, but when I took Danny to school, trying to destroy my plan.
I guess it is a long winter.
Great party, isn't it?
Still better than taking the family to Chuck E. Cheese. Wendy escapes to the caretaker's suite and locks herself in the bathroom. Dude, it's occupied! Jack attempts to break the door with the mallet, but Wendy slashes his hand with a razor.
Me, when I find a spider in the bathroom.
After fighting through the worst blizzard in 10 years, Halloran finally arrives. Okay, maybe now the hedge animals will do something, like stop Halloran from entering the hotel. Or do nothing!
Hello, you old bitch.
How I greet our grandmother.
However, Halloran is wounded by Jack with the croquet mallet.
Dick.
Wendy, when Jack has whiskey dick.
Wake up, Dick.
Instead of the mallet, Kubrick literally gives Halloran the axe. His death is a swerve. It's a surprise to moviegoers, expecting him to save the day, and especially for those who read the book. Jack is told Danny is on the 3rd floor, hiding behind the ice machine. Jack would never look there because the ice machine never works! Will somebody get Jack a stud finder? In a trance, Danny is led to the end of the hall by Tony.
Come and see.
Can't. Too dark.
He did not nail that reverse 3.5 somersault tuck.
It's the boiler. My daddy forgot to dump the boiler.
I like how Tony had to put little skulls on the gauge for Danny to understand. Jack finally has that pesky little pup where he wants him.
I have to punish you a little bit now.
You're gonna make him watch Maximum Overdrive? After another long-winded villain monologue, Jack momentarily breaks free of the manager's grip and tells Danny how much he loves him, before slipping back into madness.
Danny, run away quick!
The hotel breakfast made him gassy.
Run away quick!
However, Danny remembers something that the hotel's manager does not.
That my daddy hasn't done the boiler pressure today.
How Jack started describing his morning shits.
The manager then rushes to vent the pressure. As Danny, Wendy, and Halloran flee, the hedge animals try to stop them.
Oh my God.
And by stop them, I mean do nothing! Give them a rash or something! Jack, Grady, and the manager save the boiler just in time, but Danny is able to convince his father to sacrifice himself.
Gentlemen, I think the party's over.
Lady in 217 has been calling the front desk, making noise complaints. Someone needs to tell Mr. Ullman there are easier ways to commit insurance fraud.
Goodbye, Daddy. I love you.
Instead of the violent drunk he became, he'll remember the violent drunk he was.
So, in one version, Jack burns, while in the other, Jack freezes. Nicholson's face when someone says the series is better. Kubrick created the visual symbol of the hedge maze because he knew topiary isn't scary or didn't want to mess around with puppets. So the hedge animals were trimmed.
The only scary bushes are in old stag films.
In the movie, who or what Tony is very vague.
Is Tony one of your animals?
No, he's a little bit that lives in my mouth. Do you charge yours rent?
In the series, 10 years have passed, and Danny Anthony Torrance is graduating from high school, revealing that Tony was Danny's future self. I can also see why Kubrick cut this. Why wouldn't Tony be like, look, I'm you from the future, don't go to that hotel, and change that bowl cut? Wendy and Halloran, late as usual, are present at the ceremony. Jack's spirit is also present, looking on Danny with pride. Where did he get a suit? Does heaven have a men's warehouse?
That's what I've been missing.
Meanwhile, the crowd is wondering why he's blowing kisses to the janitor. Movie Jack dies a monster, but series Jack redeems himself. Good.
Haunted hotel or not, I gave their marriage another month. 2 tops.
Kubrick ends the film with a photo suggesting an endless cycle of evil reincarnation. The miniseries also continues this cycle. Back in Colorado, we see the remains of the Overlook Hotel and a sign saying it's being rebuilt. Just in time for Harry and Lloyd to book their stay.
There you go.
The miniseries aired on ABC and was a ratings hit. Early reviews were positive, but most find it inferior to Kubrick's adaptation, and the miniseries seems mostly forgotten or unheard of.
Like us, at a family reunion.
Both adaptations made some interesting casting choices. Shelley Duvall's Wendy is very different from the book, while series Wendy is more accurate.
Rebecca de Mornay makes me horny.
King called Kubrick's depiction of Wendy misogynistic and that she was a wimp.
Crying doesn't make you a wimp. I cry myself awake every morning.
In the book, Wendy calls the shots because Jack broke Danny's arm. While Wendy is more submissive in the movie, she's not a complete wuss. She still confronts Jack over the marks on Danny's neck, knocks him out, locks him in the pantry, and escapes with Danny without Halloran's help. Plus, she's always armed. She's us, the audience, witnessing these terrifying things. She grows. Meanwhile, novel Wendy ends up with a broken back and needs Dick. While movie Danny has less to do, he's more tolerable than the series depiction. I'm sorry, but the mouth breathing and spit swallowing mid-sentence is obnoxious.
Even I want to take his lunch money.
Some argue Jack Nicholson wasn't right for the part, and the character has no arc. He starts crazy and ends crazy. In the beginning, I see him more as an agitated, newly sober alcoholic, barely keeping it together while inside the doghouse. There's no denying Jack Nicholson owns that movie. However, I wish his Jack was more developed. Nicholson arguing with the character's dead father and smashing the CB would have been more interesting than simply dismantling it. It's hard to beat Nicholson, but Steven Weber is okay as Jack, even if there are times when his anger feels forced. With that said, the one thing the series does better than the movie is dig deeper into Jack's past, his alcoholism, and his descent into madness. It's day and night. But to be clear, the character of Jack Torrance was never a saint. Novel and series Jack may be more of a caring father and husband, but he's still an alcoholic that beat up a student, broke Danny's arm, and has violent thoughts about Wendy.
Me too, like when she screws up my Baconator.
In conclusion, King wrote a personal story about his problems with alcohol, while Kubrick set out to make a horror movie. The miniseries had an extra 2 hours to tell a more faithful, detailed, and layered story, while the movie is a cinematic masterpiece. Kubrick knew which elements to repurpose or cut. A film should show, not tell, and everything doesn't translate well to screen, which is why a lot of moments in the miniseries are silly.
This couple is attacked by a lamp monster. Ooh.
Despite the simplified characters, the film is complex, far scarier, gushing with atmosphere, and the cinematography and set design is excellent. Most of the film's iconic imagery and lines aren't from the book.
Hello, good Andy. Come and play with us. Come and play with us, good Andy. Forever and ever and ever.
I'm getting too old for stuffed animals.
Stephen King spoon-feeds the audience with information while people are still analyzing Kubrick's film to this day.
He had to fake the moon landing because there is no moon.
It's a poor adaptation, but Kubrick took King's family drama and turned it into a horror classic. Stephen King tried to show he could do it better and didn't quite hit the mark.
If only it were a drinking contest. Oh no! I'm out!
You can love the novel or the film, but being more faithful to the book doesn't stop McGarris's miniseries from being bland and unmemorable. It's a miscast, tame 90s TV movie with cheesy special effects.
Hurry, you fool!
I was told it would be better because it was more faithful, so I corrected them. Therefore, The Shining is getting the boot! This is one miniseries to overlook. been Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile.
Thanks for liking and subscribing.
Enough! I'm making a run for it! Titty City! I'm coming!
Evil! No! You'll freeze to death!
Whiskey! Where are you?